All right, so this is my 2 cents on the Diddy case. When you are rich, you can buy yourself an innocent verdict. This is nothing new. This is nothing new under the sun. People who don't have the money will go to jail. People who have lots of money will eventually get out of jail if they go to jail at all. This is the United States of America injustice system. Rich people can buy themselves an innocent verdict. There's no two ways around it. He has committed, he has committed murders. He's put hits on people. He shot a woman in her face, got away with that. He has had more drugs in his possession than a goddamn pharmacy, so that he could drug people and take advantage of them and have 25 people doing you, and you don't even know what planet you're on. You're unconscious. And that was okay with the legal system. That was perfectly okay because he's rich. So he's allowed to do that. He's allowed to put hits on people. He's allowed to assault children. He's allowed to touch teenagers sexually. He is allowed to commit arson. He is allowed to be involved with the drug world. He is allowed to do as he wants to do because he is wealthy. The only reason he is in jail in the first place is because they were trying to shake his tree and pretend that rich people actually have to follow the same laws that we have to follow. And that is not true. If you have enough money, you could buy yourself an innocent verdict. And if you watched any of the court cases, yeah, they mentioned about racketeering and they mentioned about you can't hire people for sex across state lines, and all this other. But all that was a front because the court was only interested in the freak-offs. Everybody in court was getting theirself all hot and bothered because of all the sexual details. They didn't give two shits about anything else. They didn't care about the drug possession. They did not care about how many drugs he had in his possession. They did not care that he was rendering people unconscious because liquid GHB was in those bottles of baby oil. The courts didn't care about that. They were more interested in who stuck what where and when and what was that like. And let's go ahead and pull all the it seemed to me that the court was interested in the pornography, but they're not interested in anything of substance. They're not interested in the fact that these women were drugged. They're not interested in the fact that people were drugged until they were unconscious. They're not interested in the fact of children were violated and hits put on them and arson was committed. None of that is relevant. But the fucking, we got to know about that. Who put what where? That is the only thing the courts give a shit about. They wanted all the gory sexual details so they could go home and I guess if they're not married, they call somebody, one of their previous lovers on the phone and say, hey, I heard about this. Why don't we try it? Because that's all they give a fuck about. They're supposed to be professionals and all they cared about was the fucking. That's all they cared about. Like I said, they mentioned racketeering and, all this, you can't do this, you can't do that, and have all the, drugs in your possession. But they were more interested in the fucking. That was the most important thing to them, so they could get their cookies off when they went home after court. That's disgusting. Even court can't control themselves sexually. Y'all just took the whole case and turned it into porn. You turned the entire case into pornography. And they kept getting their cookies off, replaying the same shit over and over again. They were drooling on everything that Cassie said. Because that was the most important thing to them, the pornography. So everything else that he has done is irrelevant. Who stuck what where, who licked who where, who stuck their tongue where. We just need to know all those details, and we need to talk about them every single freaking day because we're all perverts. Judges, lawyers, jurors, all of them are fucking perverts because that's all they cared about. That is the only thing they cared about. They totally missed the boat. So when he gets worse and he commits more crimes, the law better not say a fucking word, because all y'all cared about is what he did in the goddamn bedroom. That's all the fuck you cared about. So don't you dare. When he commits more murders and he starts assaulting more people, don't y'all say a fucking word, because y'all were okay with it. When you have money, you could buy yourself an innocent verdict. This country makes me sick. We haven't had a legal system in several years. The legal system was dismantled. Criminals were asses were kissed. When the rioting happened in California, you weren't allowed to protect your own business, and that's how you feed your family, and you're not allowed to protect. And people were like, yeah, fuck you. They got on top of the building with guns, and they were like, let me catch you breaking into my I'll go to jail. I'll go to jail. Criminals' asses were kissed, and citizens were told, you got to sit there and just let somebody burn your company and let them loiter. You just got to let them do it. So we haven't had a fucking legal system in several years. Everything was dismantled. The police department was defunded. Laws were softened in favor of the criminals. You weren't allowed to protect your own business, which is asinine. All your basic rights were taken. The fucking Constitution was burned to the ground. Prosecutors were not permitted to do their job. This shit been going on for years. And if you broke your probation, they'll pop you on the wrist and say, hey, be nice next time. You be nice. We still don't have laws, especially for rich people. And anybody who has committed a crime that's a celebrity has gotten away with it. Every single one. You show me a celebrity who actually paid for their crime with the legal system. I guarantee you they did not, because they had enough money to buy themselves an innocent verdict. So when he gets worse, when Diddy gets worse and does worse things, worse than what he's already done, the legal system can thank theirself and congratulate theirself because they fucked up again. Good for you. You're stupid.